Okay, children. So, last class we have just started our discussion about the First World War. Okay, see, after the Second World War, we have seen that Germany was not treated very harsh by the Allied powers. Even though Germany was defeated in the Second World War, Germany was not treated very harsh or in a humiliating manner. Okay, and
Ma'am,
yes,
your voice is very low.
voice is low. Am I okay, children, now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, after the Second World War, Germany was defeated, but the Allied powers were not so harsh against Germany. Okay. International Military Tribunal was set up at Nuremberg to prosecute the Nazi criminals. Okay, but they were not so harsh towards the Germany or towards the Nazi people. Okay, but after the First World War, it was not so. Okay, so we have discussed about First World War. Okay, which all powers were fought. In which year the First World War has started?
1914.
1914. Okay, in the year 1914, the First World War has started. Okay, and which all powers were fought the First World War?
Allied forces.
Allied forces and the
Central
powers. Okay, Allied powers, that is mainly Russia, England, France. Yes, tell me.
Serbia.
Serbia. Okay,
Serbia,
these all
the
were
USA.
as Japan. Okay, these all were Allied forces and Central powers.
Germany.
Germany,
Hungary.
Austria-Hungary, yes, Austria-Hungary, Bulgaria, Ottoman Turkey, these all countries were in Central powers. Okay, so all these countries formed alliances and they fought the First World War. It began in the year 1914. Okay, what was the immediate cause for the war?
Assassination of the
Murdered by
Austria prince.
Austrian prince was assassinated. Okay, Franz Ferdinand, he was assassinated. Okay, that was one of the reason. That was the one of the main reason. And Germany fought along the side of Austria and declared war against France. Okay, okay, children. But see, children, Germany was a powerful nation. Okay, see, you have to remember one thing, children. Germany was not under Hitler during the time of the First World War.
Ma'am, your voice is low.
What happened? Let me try to connect it again. Okay, am I better, children? Am I better?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yes, Germany. It was a powerful, very powerful nation during the beginning of the century. Okay, or during the time of the First World War, Germany was a powerful nation. Okay, and it conquered. In the beginning, Germany made some victories. Okay, it occupied France and Belgium. Okay, but the Allied powers, they were strengthened by the entry of US in the year 1970. Okay, the Allied powers, they become more strengthened or they began to be strengthened by the entry of US in the year 1917. Okay, then Germany was defeated in the First World War. Okay, Germany was defeated. Is that clear, children? Is this points are clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but after the First World War, okay, a peace treaty was signed at Versailles. Okay, a peace treaty, that is Versailles Treaty, was signed in the year 1919. It is very important. Okay, but it was very harsh one. Okay, it was a harsh one. Germany, need to compensate for the war. Okay, the war guilt cause was made on Germany. Germany was the responsible country. Okay, Germany was the sole responsible country which was made for the outbreak of the First World War. Okay, so the Germany need to pay compensation. Okay, and before that, children, let me remind you about the Weimar Republic. Okay, it is very important. Weimar Republic. Weimar, it is a cultural center in Germany. Okay, Weimar was a cultural center in Germany, and we know that Germany fought the First World War against the Allies, and Germany in the beginning it able to occupy France and Belgium, but the Allied were joined by the US in the year 1917, and the Allies won and Germany was defeated. Okay, these points we have discussed. And after this, okay, after this, you know, children, there was an abdication of monarchy. Till that time, okay, till the end of First World War, Germany was ruled by a king, as we have discussed about France and all. Okay, French Revolution, do you remember? France was ruled by a king, okay, Louis XVI. Here also, Germany was ruled by a king. Okay, but after the First World War, okay, they recast the German polity. Okay, German politics, they recast a German polity and means a constitution. Okay, they met in Weimar and set up a democratic constitution. A democratic constitution was set up in Germany. Okay, what do you mean by democratic constitution? I know that you are clear with this idea. What do you mean by democratic constitution? Democracy means?
A form of government in which an elected
People are electing the
representative.
government. Okay, constitution means a set of rules and regulation that should be followed by the citizens. Okay, so till the end of the First World War, I hope it is clear to you children, till the end of First World War, Germany was ruled by a king. Okay, okay, but when the First World War, when it's over, okay, there was the king's rule, okay, was banned. Okay, it was stopped, and the means a federal assembly was set up. Okay, means a democratic constitution. Okay, these all allies, they met at Weimar. Okay, and a constitution was set up in Germany, in which all members, all adults, okay, can cast the vote and they can elect the members, including the woman. They had given equal participation, or they had given, the people of Germany has given equal participation, including the woman. They can elect the members to the parliament, German parliament, and German parliament, it is known as Reichstag. It is very important. Usually one word questions used to ask about is Reichstag, R-E-I-C-H-S-T-H. German parliament. German parliament, it is known as Reichstag. So after the First World War, a constitution, a democratic constitution was set up in Germany, in which the deputies were elected to the German parliament, that is Reichstag. And all the people, okay, all adults in Germany were given equal participation, including the woman. Okay, we know that France, the women were not giving the chance to vote, but here in Germany, the women also had given the voting chance. They can elect the representatives to Reichstag, that is German parliament. Okay. So a national assembly met at Weimar, okay, and a democratic constitution was set up. deputies, okay, were elected to the German parliament, and all adults were given the chance to participate in the election. But the people of Germany were not satisfied with the Weimar Republic, okay, because of the treaty, because of the Versailles Treaty. The Versailles Treaty was signed in the year 1919, okay, and it was a very harsh one. Okay, a peace treaty was signed at Versailles with the allies by Germany. It was a harsh treaty. In this treaty, they passed a war guilt clause in which they held Germany responsible for the war and the damage caused to the people. And they demilitarized Germany. They removed army. The Germans were not supposed to maintain an army and occupied their rich mineral areas, that is Rhineland. The Allies weakened Germany and they have occupied their resources. That means rich mineral areas, iron, coal, everything is occupied by the Allied forces. Germany lost its overseas colonies. These all was the provisions of the Treaty of Versailles. Okay. And it lost its population, 30% of its territories. Germany lost its territories, 75% of its iron, coal, okay, to France, Poland, and Denmark. Okay, they demilitarized Germany. So the war guilt clause forced Germany to pay compensation amounting 6 billion pounds. Okay, Germany was forced to pay 6 billion pounds to the Allied powers. Okay, so children, the Versailles Treaty, it was actually a peace treaty. Okay, it was signed by all the countries involved in the First World War, but it was means literally it was not a peace treaty. It was very harsh. It include very harsh terms against Germany. Germany was compelled to compensate. It need to pay compensatory amount, okay, about 6 million pounds. Germany lost its territories, means its rich mineral areas, 75% of iron, coal, okay, everything was occupied by the Allied forces. So the real reason for the outbreak of the Second World War, okay, one of the main reasons for the outbreak of the Second World War was the Versailles Treaty. The terms, okay, the terms made by the Allied powers to weaken Germany, it was very harsh and a humiliating one. So the people of Germany was not at all satisfied with the terms and conditions of the Versailles Treaty, okay, and these conditions, okay, developed a mindset, okay, it developed a mindset to fight against the Europeans and the other countries. Okay, Germany was only because of this conditions of this Versailles Treaty and because of the harsh and humiliating treatment by the Allied powers, Germany was forced to revenge against the European countries. So this Versailles Treaty was one of the main reason for the outbreak of the Second World War. Is it clear, children? This Versailles Treaty, it is very important. This Weimar Republic also very important. Children, is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Children, see children, till the, I'll revise the points, just listen to me.
Ma'am, your voice.
Yes. Jaslyn?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. Is there any problem with my sound?
Ma'am, when that mic goes down, your voice
Okay, okay.
becomes.
See, children, till the end of the First World War, Germany was ruled by the king. Okay, first after the First World War, Germany was defeated by the Allies. Okay, Germany was defeated by the Allies. Okay, so after Germans were defeated, okay, a national assembly met at Weimar. Okay, and they set up a democratic constitution. Till that time, Germany was ruled by a king. But after the First World War, Germany's polity, it was recast German polity. Okay, the people were elected. Okay, the representatives were elected by the people. Okay, and they were sent them like whatever we people are doing. Okay, democratic form of government or constitution was set up in Germany. The people were elected to the German parliament. What is the name of the German parliament? Reichstag. Okay, Reichstag, the German parliament, they were elected the people. But the people of Germany was not satisfied with the setup. Okay, they were not happy with the terms of the Versailles Treaty. In which year the Versailles Treaty was signed, children? 1919. Okay, 1919, Versailles Treaty was signed among the world countries that has participated in the First World War. Okay, but it was a peace treaty, but actually it was not a peace treaty. It included many terms, many harsh terms against Germany. Okay, because why Germans, why they regarded Germans, means why it included very harsh terms against Germany? Jarlin, can you tell me? Because the war guilt clause. Okay, because the Germany, they made, the Allied powers made Germany as the responsible country for the outbreak of the war. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Germany made to compensate. Germany made to compensate for the war, because this was the means Germany, when Germany declares war against France, actually the world war has started. Okay, so Germany was forced to compensate. Okay, it need to pay 6 billion pounds. It lost its territories, 1/10 of its population, and also rich mineral areas and iron, coal, everything was occupied by the Allied powers. Okay, so the Versailles Treaty, it include many harsh terms against Germany. So that is one of the main reason for the outbreak of the Second World War. Clear? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So move to the new portion. Okay, that is the effect of the war in Germany. So after when the First World War, when it's over, okay, there was serious effects. Okay, disastrous effects on the society, on the German society, because the Germans were not satisfied with the terms and conditions of the Versailles Treaty and also with the Weimar Republic. Okay, they were not satisfied with the Weimar Republic, and the people who supported the Weimar Republic, okay, the people who supported the federal structure or the democratic constitution, they were termed as November criminals. Okay, let me share the screen. Okay. See, children, many socialist Catholics supported the Germans or the Weimar Republic. Those who supported Germans were called as November criminals by the Allies. Okay. The war had a devastating impact. Okay, the war has a devastating impact on the society. Europe turned one of the main impact. Okay, one of the main impact of the revolt was that from Europe, okay, Europe, it turned to be a debtor. Many of the European countries were very rich, was very rich in their financially they were very rich, but after the First World War, they all become debtors. Okay, they all become debtors. That is one of the main means effect of the war. And those who supported the Weimar Republic, okay, those who supported the people of Germany, they were not satisfied with the Weimar Republic, and some people, that is socialist, okay, Catholics and Democrats, okay, they supported the German or the Weimar Republic. Those who supported this Weimar Republic, they were called as November criminals by the Allies. Okay. From a continent of creditors, Europe turned into one of debtors. That means till that time, the European countries were very rich, even Germany, France, all these countries, European countries were very rich and powerful. But after the First World War, okay, means they all began to be weakened. Financially, they become very weak. Okay, and means one of the debtors, means one of the creditors, these all European countries began to be debtors. Okay, those who have to take loan from the countries. Okay, loan from the other countries to maintain the financial resources. Germany, we know that it is begun to be weakened by the Allied powers, and also the German people, some people already supported the Weimar Republic. They were supportive of this democratic constitution, but these people were called as November criminals. And another effect, okay, another effect of the war, the soldiers were placed above the civilians. What do you mean by civilians? Civilians?
The people who live there,
The people?
who live there.
People of a country.
Yes. Okay, the people who were not a part of the means armed force or a police, okay, or a military force. Okay, so here after the First World War in Germany, soldiers were placed above the civilians. What do you mean by this, children? Soldiers were placed above the civilians. Can you tell me? That means
And they were given more respect
more
than the
important.
ordinary civilian.
Okay, yes. Okay, soldiers were given more importance. Okay, they had important positions. The soldiers' position in the society was very high. Okay, the soldiers were placed above the civilians, and men were, okay, the men were asked to be more aggressive, masculine, means very strong. Men were asked to be very strong. Okay, do you know what is the reason? Why the German people were asked the men to be more aggressive, masculine, and also they were given more importance for soldiers. Why it is so?
You fought the war.
Gauri, can you guess? It's very simple.
Because they were the one who fought the war. Because they were the one who fought the war.
It's not clear. Um,
And the
Lakshmi Nanda,
more soldiers It's
Why you can means it's very simple, right?
And
See,
because they were the one who fought the war.
see, children, after the First World War, Germany was defeated. Okay, Germany was defeated, and the Allied powers literally they weakened Germany. Okay, they have taken all its resources. Okay, and also one important thing they have done against Germany, that is they demilitarized Germany. They were means they can't means maintain an army in the country. Okay, so there was an means a pressure, or there was means an attitude among the people to fight against the European countries, to against their enemies. Is it? The people of Germany was not, children, please listen to me, because I have told you it's not has a harsh impact over Germany. Okay, the Allied powers was very harsh and humiliated against Germany. So the Germans were not satisfied with the terms of the Weimar Republic. Okay, they means they do not like the federal setup. Okay, or the republic, or the democratic constitution. They do not like that attitude. Those who supported the Weimar Republic, they were termed as November criminals. Okay, that is socialist, Catholics, Democrats. Okay, these people were treated as, or they were called as November criminals. Okay, and the First World War has an impact, a huge impact on the German society. Okay, the first impact is that the soldiers were placed above the civilians. Okay, civilians means the people, those who are not a part of the armed forces or the police. Okay, so the soldiers were given an important position in the society after the First World War. Okay, and men were asked to be more strong, masculine. What do you mean by masculine?
Manly.
Yes. Okay, and masculine and also very strong, aggressive. Okay, and the media glorify the trench life. Have you heard about trench life, children? Trench life.
No, ma'am.
Oh, trench life, it means that, see children, during the time of the war, the soldiers will pit hole on the ground. Okay, I'll show the picture, and they will, at the time, see, can you see the picture, children? This is trench life. Okay, that is long, narrow ditches, okay, dug into the ground like this. Okay, dug into the ground where soldiers lived. Okay, the soldiers will live during the time of the war. The soldiers were lived in trenches. Okay, it is very muddy and uncomfortable also. Okay, and during the time of the First World War, each soldier usually spent 8 days in the front and 4 days in the trench. Okay, that means the soldiers, they needed to stay in trenches. Okay, it is a long pits. Okay, long, narrow pits were dug. Okay, into the ground, and the soldiers has to live in these trenches. Okay, so the media glorify the trench life, but the truth was that here the soldiers lived a miserable live in these trenches, trapped with rats feeding the crops, but publicly they were shown that they share good position. Okay, so children, the soldiers lived in a miserable life there in Germany, but the media glorified their life. Okay, actually the soldiers' condition was very miserable. They lived on trenches. It was very uncomfortable. It was very muddy. Okay, you can see the picture over here. Okay, it was very muddy, and the soldiers, they need to, during the time of the First World War, these people, whenever the war, the soldiers were, if they were not participating in the war, they need to stay in trenches. And also they faced poisonous gas and enemy shelling and witnessed their ranks reduce rapidly. Okay, so aggressive war propaganda was happened at the time of at the time after the First World War in Germany. Okay, so children, the effect of the war, the first effect of the war, the Germans were not satisfied with the terms of the Weimar Republic. Okay, those who supported the Weimar Republic, that are Catholics, Socialists and Democrats, they were called as November criminals. Okay, they always faced attacks from the other people. Okay, and the other effect, okay, in Germany after the First World War was the soldiers, the position of the soldiers. They were given much importance. Men were asked to be more strong, more aggressive and masculine. Okay, and the politicians motivated, okay, politicians motivated them to raise their voices. Okay, but actually the truth, okay, the truth was that their condition, the soldiers condition in trenches was very miserable. Okay, and even the soldiers spend the 8 days in the front. Okay, they need to fight against the country, and 4 days they have to remain in trenches. Okay, but they faced poisonous gas and also enemy shelling. What do you mean by shelling, children? Enemy shelling? The soldiers, they faced enemy shelling. Shelling? Have you heard about shelling? Heavy fire. Okay, heavy fire. Okay, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So democracy, they do not, the people of Germany do not like democratic ideas, and they do not want a democratic setup in their country. Okay, these all people, the whole people, they were, okay, they need a strong leader to fight. Okay, the people of Germany, the most people of Germany, they all need a strong leader to fight against to the against to the allied powers. Okay, so the actually the Versailles Treaty and the conditions, okay, of the Weimar Republic, the people of Germans were not satisfied with all these conditions, and they all set forward for, or they were looking forward a strong leader, okay, to support them against the allied powers. Is this points are clear to you, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any doubt? The effect of the First World War. Okay, in Germany. Okay, actually, the Germans, okay, these Germans were not satisfied with the terms of the Weimar Republic. Okay, soldiers were given more importance. The media glorified trench life. Actually, in trench, these people, actually the condition of the soldiers in trench was not satisfactory, but still, okay, they were, means their life was glorified by the medias. Okay, men were asked to be more strong, more familiar, and for these people, democracy was a young and a fragile idea. They all wanted a strong leader to fight against the allied powers, because that was the harsh treaty. That means these all people were wanted to take revenge against the allied powers of their harsh treaty of, means that is Versailles. Okay, that was signed at Versailles. Okay, children, I think our time is up. Is it? Let me
Yes,
check the
ma'am.
attendance.